left this sitting for about an hour now and no signs of any leaks, so I think we're good. So I'll get this tank cleaned up and do some primer. That bit's going to need sorting. I have to make a new one of them, but it's been spot welded in the past. Maybe just have to rivet it or something. So I'm sure that tank's the one that leaked. Anyway, I'll use this one. I attack it with the wire brush and the angle grinder and get it cleaned up. I've started to clean up this old diesel tank major here. This is a sort of before and after. Quite a lot of rust. Might have to put Q-Rust on it or something to make sure it eats it. I've done most of the top now. I'm still at the bottom to do. It's going to be too bad. That's where you got most of the tank cleaned, about 99%. There's bits I can't get at, but I put some of that Q-Rust stuff in because I don't like that hole, and I don't like that. Well, that one's not so bad, it's this one I don't like. Probably going to try and solder it. This bracket's been soldered at some point as well. If I get enough heat, and I should be able to solder that. And I'm going to give it, I've got this Q-Rust on at the moment that oxidises stuff and sends me out. So, let's see, looking not too bad for something that's probably at least 50 years old. But they made them with good stuff in the old days. I bet you the one, you can buy a tank from Agroline, I think it's about 158 quid or something, in postage, so you can get one for 200 by the time you get it. Then you have to paint it, of course. So, the only feature that needs sorting is this. There's a block goes in here with two wee screws. I'm not just exactly sure how it works, the bonnet, because I've never had a actual major bonnet that worked right. But we'll address that at a later date. Okay, stopping for a bit now. That hole I pointed out earlier here, it's actually right through. I just put something right through it, so the paint must have been sealing it. Whenever I go at MIG welding it, see how we get on. And there's another one here, I'm going to give that a go as well. I've got CO2 on it, so that should cool it to let it weld. See how we get on. I've given it a weld up there. Hopefully that'll seal it. I was running the welder at 45 amps and just put a wee patch over that as well. But if I hadn't taken the paint off, what was holding it was actually the paint. So, and the tank was on fire inside as well, so that was good. So I have a bit to weld on the other side. I'll just do it when I've got the welder set up. That's me, got that bit welded on. I kept the welded on bits at the bottom of the old one to give it a bit more metal for me to weld to. But that one was in good condition compared to the other one. It must be something to do with the hinge, and I still have to figure it out. It's smoking away there, quite happy with itself, all closed in. Right, I'll have to get it painted now. I'll do a wee bit of grinding here first though. I've given the tank here a coat of primer, a red oxide. I had some in a can and I had some white, grey primer. So I just sprayed it with what I had. There's a few dents in it I went to sort. There's a big dent there and a big dent there. I'll get some of that big boy filler again and sort that. And hopefully welded the leak underneath. And this is off the original tank. I cut it off and then just welded it back onto the wee bits that were there. So it was a complete unit, so that's why I used that. There's still a lot of rust inside. I'll need to try and get that out as well. I'll connect up an air line, shut it and let it go quick, and it should act like a vacuum and suck it out hopefully. But that's all I'm doing this weekend. Back to work tomorrow. So I thought we might get on with the major and get this steering off of here. There's definitely something been leaking there. Look, you can see there's oil everywhere. We'll get all this cleaned up when we're in there as well. And that's been, I think that's been running down there. So maybe I might need to make a new gasket for there. There was one put in about 15 years ago, I think. Yeah, just the other day. Right, I'll go and get some spanners and that, and I'll try and get this steering off first. Might just take that nut off actually, leave that on. There's a seal in here that you can't get anymore, so I'm wanting to get the sizes. See if I can either make one, or my brother was going to 3D print one. So hopefully if he does that, I'll put my GoPro down to him and he can film it in time lapse, because I think it takes a minute. Right, I'll bring you back once we're set up. Right, we're away. Strip out some stuff. I've removed the oil pressure line that was coming along here. We'll take off this and get it cleaned up. It's the support for the fuel tank. Too big. So I'll use some clean that, which will be 5/8, I believe. It certainly is. Laugh is we did this off before when we did the engine. Bucket here. I think if I remember right, the nut that's down here is a breather for the gearbox. This is a new nut. Could be wrong, like, but there's some tractor. Aye, this weird looking thing. It is, because there's a hole up the end of it. Look, that's an air breather for the gearbox. That's a good place to put a bolt. And it's tight. There's a bolt right in the middle there, underneath. So you get it with a ratchet. Nope. 5/8 key then. I was getting withdrawal symptoms not being in the garage here. Well, the tractor shed when I was because I was out driving. I've been driving a class 2 tipper 8-wheel thing. A lot of fun. It's a bit difficult at first because we leave the yard at 6:30 in the morning. I was kind of, if I drive till about 9:30, 10 and have a 15-minute break, that takes me to about 12:30, 1, and then I have a 30-minute break, and that's usually you for the rest of the afternoon. Or if you go over your hours, you take another 45-minute break. Try it from the other side, it's more over that side. I'm just doing as and when is needed, but I'm needed every day at the moment. So I think this week's a full week, and then I'm on a couple of days a week. which we'll be quite happy about. But you never know. Yeah. 16mm, I might have a little short key. And that's the one. All the short keys are there, but the 16mm. I was using it before. Take another bolt out to use it. Sort of my rosary job. I was watching a dumper truck for sale. That's an old one with a 2-cylinder Peters engine. Hand start. The guy had in for a lot of money to start with. I think it was like £2.5 grand. Then it went down to 1500, which was still a bit much, I think. And then it went down to 750 and it got snapped up before I could get my hands on it. And a little restoration project we could have done together. Maybe I should just buy another major. Waste another 5 grand in another major. Nice to see it not leaking oil anymore. One thing I quite like to do is put on an alternator rather than the dynamo that's on it just now. We'd have to rewire it. An alternator needs a permanent live to it. When you put on your ignition, you energise the coils, and then when it starts generating, your ignition light will go out because it starts generating. So we might do that, and that would get rid of the control box, which will be in the bottom here somewhere. I could actually be doing with the tractor and the Kubota at the moment, like dig up a drain. This is the day the clocks go forward, so I'll be getting up at 20 to 3 instead of, no, 20 to 5 I was getting up. So 20 to 4 I'll be getting up to go to work. Clean all this up again, maybe get a spray of primer. Well, the engine might have a very small oil leak, but it's nothing at all. You know, like it used to be, and it threw oil everywhere. And this hydraulic's leaking, but I've got a set of seals. Well, I might not have a set of seals because I used them on the Kubota. Right, let's head up the road. I'll get that cleaned up and painted maybe. Put it over here. I can forget what it is. Okie dokie. Right. What's the salt? There's an earth here onto this bracket. A bit more light. think we'll try and get this off. Get rid of that altogether. Yeah, you fed the roll bar and the flashing amber light and the spotlight. Right, let's see if we can get this nut to come off. Come on. Ball joint out as well. Oh, you're looking at the ceiling. We're trying to get that nut out at the moment. It is loose, like. I think I'm going to have a go at this ball joint. That looks to be 24 maybe. This aftermarket steering rod isn't right for this hole, probably for a super major. It should go in further. I did look at buying taper drills, but they're not cheap. Yeah, I should have a ball joint splitter somewhere. Here, I think. Big thing. This isn't the thing I was looking for, but it might work. Right, my knee. Words you can't repeat on YouTube. Arg. Okay. That hurt. Not deny it. Oh, cool. One thing I've never done is looked inside the steering box. It could be interesting if there's any oil in it or not. Probably not. There's a homemade rubber gasket under it. That's probably why it's leaking. for another hour, and then the missus and me are going to be cleaning up after the joiner. And we've got the plasterboard and all that. The Polaris. She's asked we have to make her a seat for the Polaris so she can reach the pedals that goes forward enough and raise the accelerator because she couldn't reach it. She's 5'1.5". You can buy a wearing, oh that's nice, I'll just come off. You can buy a wearing loom from these from Agroline. It would be for a dynamo generator. Let's put the original paint on here, so try and clean that. Well, this is being filmed the time that Russia is attacking Ukraine and everything in the world's doubled in price. I don't know, I think what's his name in Russia, Putin, better watch out, they might do a coup on him. I think he thought he'd just walk in there and flatten him, but he got a big surprise. The Ukrainians just stood up to him. They're saying they're actually taking stuff back from them now. They've been getting rid of the high hegians, as I call it. And one it, apparently there was a news story that the Russians own leader, they're on him over with a jeep, they're up fed up with whether well it's true or not, but it was in the news so it must be true, sort of. It's still the biggest job in restoring a tractor, the cleaning. I don't know if I'll ever be finished with this thing. Certainly comes in handy when you need it. I actually took the Polaris to work as well because my son's his car failed its MOT, so took an insurance for my car. I took that to work 17 miles, 35 minutes, not too bad. A couple of days. It's sitting at 35, 36 if you were lucky. 30 up a hill. Right, that's the worst of it off. I'll do that in a bit before it Looks like there's a bush in here. So if we could turn a taper bush to put in there, that would actually go in here. I don't know if I've got enough skill in the lathe to turn it. Taper bush maybe. Got the bashes of it. Do the compound. I'll clean that up with the power wire brush and I'll grind and we'll see if that is a bush that will come out. And if it is, and I can make another one that will actually fit the flipping thing. And fit it behind. Yeah, if I go at that. Of course, I'll have a go off camera first, and then when I get it right, I'll put it on and say, oh, mate, that's no bother. Right. I better tidy up one. It's been walloped a few times. There we go. Get that box off. One of my subscribers we've been chatting about, he's got this box that I've got, but you can only get the super major seal, which is bigger. See, there's two options. One is buy nylon, round nylon, and machine it. That's probably one of the reasons it's leaking around the bolt there. Or like I say, my brother will 3D print one for me if I send him one down. Yeah, and it would be 3D printed in nylon. Right, loosen these up before we take it off. That manual I've got, it's 1992, so it maybe refers more to the Super Major than the ordinary Major FMD. This is Force Major Diesel. Because I know the hydraulic pictures are different from what this has got. This is an earlier one. To get Henry out to help. None of this will be alive because, well, no. This is not touching anything. Right. Henry, where we go. That cleaned up after. electrician was here the other day. I got him to test the original motor for the lathe there, and it is burnt out. There's 2 loose bolts in this thing. Yeah, so it's basically scrap. That's probably why the lathe was, they stopped using the lathe, I think, because the motor went. I think it's just need a new, clean everything below it, and then we'll get a new gasket for it. We'll make a new gasket probably. Still seems to be getting quite hard to get, bits and bobs. Sometimes they fit, sometimes they don't. That's 3/4 bolts there. It can be quite handy taking a video when you're taking things to bits, because if you forget where they go.